Okay, so I have to double down on what I said yesterday because a lot of people seem to be very defensive somehow about Citlali's weapon, which I find very dumb. Typically, you know, when we see something that is a 3-star beat out a 5-star in any shape or form, we're very confused because typically that doesn't happen. I can't actually point to a single other instance where that has happened. Again, we typically do not think of this at all. I even showed in the video that, yeah, technically this is better, because if you look at the damage difference between Mavuika with and without the weapon, you know, she goes down by 1,000-ish when her damage hits, but Citlali goes up by like nearly 40,000, which is more than Mavuika lost. Just saying. You know, it's not even a debate that this is better, but we have to talk about how this is $200 to $300. Like, just understand that this weapon, if you're not lucky or you don't get it and you chase it, if you chase after this weapon, how much of an increase are you getting, man? Because this is not it. And you can say, well, C1, but guess what? You get her C2 before you get her weapon. So how many summons do we have to say before this thing becomes good? Do we have to R5 it before we can say, oh my god, look at the damage though, like look at the difference, you know? No, we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna see is we're gonna come over here and we're gonna see Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers buff more than the 5-star weapon, and then we're gonna be like, oh, this isn't that good. And I think everyone can kind of understand that, can't we? I really hope the audio doesn't like just bug out the entire video. But what we're gonna see here is 28% damage bonus was worse than 48% attack. Now, nobody in that video brought up HP scalers. Why? Because you don't use Citlali with HP scalers. The only one I can think of is maybe Mulani, but honestly, I'm not even so sure about that because I don't have Mulani. But typically, you're not using her with HP scalers, and even if you did, I'd still advise you to get her C1 and her C2 before her weapon, even if it was better than her C1, because the reason being is because it's better for any pyro character that she's useful for. Please understand that this weapon sucks. There's no other explanation for it. It doesn't do anything other than a slight little bit extra for any pyro characters. And who are you using Citlali with? The pyro characters. Okay. All right. Let's calm down a little bit. All right. But genuinely, oh, are you going to use her with Skirk? I wonder how that's going to go. Huh. 28% damage bonus when you have Fiorino on the team, or 48% attack with no Bennett on the team. I don't want to say which one might be better. I'm not gonna say it, but I have a feeling. I have so many sacrificial fragments. Oh man, I need to start clearing out some of these 4-star weapons, man. I don't need this many. And we can also go ahead and we can look at Chaska. Do you think damage bonus or attack percent? It's a genuine question. The reason why I say that is because Chaska typically will not have damage bonus at all. And, you know, if you go from 0% damage bonus to 28% damage bonus, it is an actual 28% buff overall. So, yeah. We can look at that and be like, oh yeah, good. But again, you're not like Chaska, not that good. If I'm being blatantly truthful with you guys, Chaska is not that good. There's a reason why I focused on Arlecchino and Mavuika in that team, because you're gonna use them with these characters. You're gonna look at Citlali and you're gonna be like, all right, give me, you know, my Mavuika support. Give me my Arlecchino support. Because that is where, you know, Citlali really shines and where most people should be using Citlali and getting Citlali for. Other than that, there are just better supports for a lot of the teams that, you know, people wanted to mention. And I say a lot of the teams. It was Nevi. Nobody brought up Chaska. I was the person who brought up Chaska. Literally just now. I did that. I have not seen a single person say it. But Nevi was the only character like, oh, HP scalers. And if they say HP scalers, we know who they mean. Right. But like, sure, 28% damage bonus. yeah, that's going to be really good. But why are you using Citlali on his team? The only thing I can think of is that you're going ahead and you're making a team like this where Mavuika can melt on her burst. This is the team I'm expecting people to be making when they're trying to use Citlali with Nevi. Because let's not forget that all Citlali is doing is giving 20% res shred on that team. Even just a Shieldon without anything can give more support. Like, Shieldon C0 R0 gives more support than Citlali with her weapon. That is just a fact. But the only team I can think of people really wanting to use Citlali with on, you know, Nevi's team is a team that looks like this, right? It's a team like this, where you go ahead, you tap the Isco on Nevi, you know, you have all this stuff and it'll go down. I'm going to go ahead and use this team. I just want to see if we can clear the Hydro and melt with Mavuika, or it was just not melt or vape. Because at that point, again, why are you using Citlali with Nevi? Because you can't even melt on your vape on her things, right? Like, it's just, at that point, it's even worse. But yeah, we're going to have to, you know, just try for this. And it should be cryo. That was a melt. All right, sure. I'll take it. You know, if people want to see this happen, 86,000, it's not a bad damage number, right? It's not. The only issue I have with this is that why wouldn't you just go ahead and use Kazuha? Like, there really is, like, certain times where it's like, okay, there's two routes you can take this team. Why wouldn't you just use Kazuha? Okay, you get rid of Citlali, give Kazuha better buff. Or Lanyan, all right? Give Lanyan Citlali's weapon. You wouldn't even use it on Citlali, right? It's an option. You use Lanyan on, you know, the weapon. The only issue I see with that is that Mavuika would clear the Hydro, basically. She would clear the Hydro, and then you're kind of like, what do I do, right? That's why, you know, Mavuika's really good on Nevi's team, but she's really good on this team, and she's far better on this team. Let me go ahead and do this. Now, the Citlali team worked, right? We just showed that it worked. Why would you do it, though? Because I'll, you know, we'll go ahead and we'll come here and I'll show you guys the damage numbers I get here. It's not, you know, awful, right? You definitely can work with it. But I mean, if we really wanted, right, we'll go ahead and have that. This isn't going to, well, it didn't crit. But we could see here, 70,000, right? 70,000. And we have more comfortable, you know, energy regen. That's a pretty big thing for Nevi because he relies on his burst every single rotation. So better energy regen, you know. And then we also just are doing kind of better. So that's one way you can bring it. Like, I like using Furion on this mainly because of the energy, right? Nevi, he gets his energy up. I mean, he's basically at full energy right now. He gets basically a lot of it, right? Now, that's not to say, oh, Citlali's useless for Nevi, right? If you're desperate, but like, if you're getting Citlali's weapon, you shouldn't be desperate. Simply put, you shouldn't be. You should not be a person who's desperate, because that means you made the wrong decision to summon for Citlali's weapon. Of course, I'm not talking about the people who got it on accident like me, right? You didn't want to get it, but you got it. But again, this is kind of just better than, you know, it's kind of just better. Kind of. I probably should be taking this video more seriously, because, like, I'm gonna be honest. Yay. Oh, no, angry guy. No, I'm not really that angry. I was just, I'm just having fun. But, you know, 36% res shred, 40% damage bonus, 20% res shred, 68% damage bonus. That's a little, I don't know actually which one of those would be better. I think I would like the res shred more, because we already have Fiorina here giving 100% damage bonus, right? I think that is kind of just saturating it, whereas the res shred, like, you get the 36% and it's, you know, you're cooking. But let's go ahead and talk about the Kazuha variation. Now this one's a little weird for me because I have Kazuha at C2, so you're gonna see Mavuika hit a lot harder than she should. But now you do have to take advantage of the Nevi, you know, like, team overall. Oh, 90,000, 100,000. All right, cool. Yeah. So he hits that much, and then, yeah, you do have to take advantage of the Kazuha, like, refresh like this. This is what I'm talking about. Kazuha has to take advantage of his refresh, but you can do it. You absolutely can do it, because Nevi is that kind of character where you can take advantage of it. And we saw him hit a lot harder. And Mavuika go from, I can't actually judge Mavuika's damage again, because, like I said, C2 Kazuha, 200 elemental mastery. She probably was not hitting 700,000 damage, right? This team works. However, like, again, do we really want to sit here and defend this weapon, which costs infinitely more comparatively to this weapon, right? This weapon you legitimately can just have off of your first multi in the game, and it's not even like that crazy to say, because like, you know, I get it. People, they miss like sacrificial fragments forever, right? They don't get it. They just cannot pull this weapon even when it's featured. This thing is literally in like half the multis you do. It is. It genuinely, it is like, I'm pretty sure you could just find them, right? You could just find these in chests if you go exploring. Like, genuinely, this is not even close to being like rare at all. This is something that you could legitimately lose a Fiorina. Like, there's so many things. Like, this thing does not give you nearly enough of a buff comparatively to the free 3-star option that, like, there's not even a chance that I would consider this a good value weapon. Like, even if we're, like, it's a good weapon, right? Let's be fair. Good weapon. However, characters that can take effect of the good weapon is Nevi. Characters that can help Nevi with said good weapon, Citlali, Lanyan, those characters. Sadly, they can't do that much beyond that, right? Those characters are still not even, with this weapon, still not even a part of his best team. Again, like, it just, you know, I like, you know, having my Fiorina here. I like having the Fiorina here. Again, the energy regen is crucial for Nevi, right? Nevi loves his energy regen because having Fiorina on the team keeps him very, very strong, very, very good. It's a very good, you know, team member for Nevi. It also keeps the Hydra application up for Mavuika, right? So Mavuika is able to do quite a bit of damage. All right, I've been going on for 50 minutes. I didn't realize that. I don't really care. I just thought it would be a fun video for people to see me freak out about this. I don't know. So sometimes you can go back. I've done a couple of these videos before. I don't care that much. All right, chat. I don't. If you want to consider Citlali's weapon good, right? Like, again, it's a good weapon. Like, just look at it on paper. It's a good weapon, but it is not a good weapon for, you know, like, actually usability right now. Like, weirdly, it's not. And, well, I say weirdly, but, you know, again, free, super easy to get weapon, just super easy, great, 48% attack. And it's gonna be so funny if someone types in the comments when I'm talking about Fiorina's energy regen, just give Citlali Favonius, and it's like, that defeats the entire purpose. Like, if I see a comment like that, I'm pinning it. I'm shaming you. If I see a comment like that, you get pinned. I'm shaming you. Because, like, there's no way you defeat the entire purpose of this video by saying that, and you just don't realize it. So overall, I just have to say, like, Citlali, she's great. I love her. Yeah, this isn't about Citlali. Let's keep that clear. It's about her weapon. This is just, it's good, but it ain't. It's just not, because, like, again, it's just Nevi, like, trying to, all right, I'll say it calmly instead of, you know, shouting at you. Right now, Nevi doesn't need more damage bonus, for one, right? He's already getting what? On, like, let's assume we go ahead. Like, okay, listen to me on this team. Okay, stay with me. Or R1, you know, C0 shield on him, right? She's giving 65% damage bonus through all of her artifact sets and 36% Rice Shred, right? Fiorina, 100% damage bonus, off-field damage also, which is another thing, right? We made Nevi's numbers hit harder, but like Fiorina, her off-field damage was better and made up for it, right? Simple as that. And then we have Mavuika here, who's also giving him 40% damage bonus. This guy is stacking up 200% damage bonus, right? Who are we getting rid of on this team? Because I don't think getting rid of Fiorina is a good option. I don't think getting rid of Mavuika is a good option, right? And before anybody makes the argument, oh, well, you know, you're not always going to have Mavuika. I always compare characters with their best teams. I always compare characters with their best team. You know, at least the best in terms of, you know, consistency and usability, right? And, you know, if we're talking Kanich Emily, right, I'm not doing his 5th hit because I can't ever do that consistently for some reason. My keyboard hates me or something. The inputs just don't go through sometimes. But, you know, for Nevi, it really is just what team does the highest damage, and the team that's going to do the highest damage is this team, right? You're going to have, you know, Mavuika, go ahead, she's going to vape. Oh yeah, Furina's good, she's going to do all field damage. You know, Shieldin', she's going to, you know, buff your characters a whole bunch. And then, if we take anything away from that, we would take away Citlali, or we would take away Furina for Citlali, right? To give Nevi the stack, which would make his damage go up by 10,000. Sure, but then you also have to go ahead and understand the overall, like, you know, things that you lose. And you're losing the damage bonus for Mavuika, right? Because she's not getting the extra stack. However, you do get the, you know, melt, as we saw. So it makes up for it. It does. It does. How much? I actually don't know, because you lose off the damage bonus that Furina gives Mavuika on every single one of her sequential hits after that, right? Because Mavuika, don't forget, her E skill is constantly raining down on Nevi, right? Or like on, well, or Nevi's beam, right? And she's getting buffed by Furina. So the off-field damage that Mavuika is doing is constantly getting buffed and buffed and buffed. And she's just going boom, 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 doing 100,000 damage. With Citlali, you lose all that damage bonus that Furina is giving, right? So you start to notice that, like, oh, it's, you know, oh, the initial hit, you know, did more. I think it did 800,000, right? And, you know, on this team, it does 700,000. So it did 100k more, but on every single one of Mavuika's E-skill hits, it does less. So you add up all those, I would not be surprised if even on this team, with all of the scenarios here, or with all of the, you know, things filled out, it showed that Mavuika's damage actually went down because of the way, you know, that worked. Again, Citlali's weapon, like, it's good on paper, but when you have such a good option already for free, basically, like, not even basically, it is just for free. If you don't have it for free, you deleted it off your account, because it is almost impossible to summon on this game without getting these 3-star weapons. It is legitimately almost impossible. So I will absolutely have to say, like, no, I don't, you know, I'm not going to consider this weapon good when Citlali is a dedicated support for Mavuika. Like, we can, like, if you don't think that, you're dumb. Just simple. I'll put it forth through you. I'm actually mad about. If you don't believe that, you're dumb. Like, there's no other way to, you know, phrase it. You're dumb, because she is. No other way. So the dedicated support gets her weapon, which is better on her team, but in terms of buffing, it's, like, you know, worse. And in terms of how much better it actually is, it's all right. Like, it's not that good, right? It's a $200 to $300 weapon. It is. Like, there's no denying it. It just is. Obviously, I'm not shaming anybody for who got it, right? It's a weapon, right? It does buff, right? And, you know, I do know some people like the style Genshin Impact over, or what do they call it? Fashion Impact, right? Yeah, that. They like that over, you know, meta, right? I understand, but when we're talking about, you know, okay, dropping, you know, $200, $300 on the game, what do we plan to get out of it? And your answer is Citlali's weapon? I have some questions. I do. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.